Imagine a place where arid deserts meet towering snow-capped mountain ranges, and the ocean stretches out to the horizon. This place is Chile, a country of impressive contrasts that captivates the hearts of travelers with its natural diversity and rich culture. From the driest desert in the world, the Atacama, to the lush forests of the south, passing through the snowy peaks of the Andes, Chile offers an array of adventures and unforgettable experiences. Did you know that Chile is home not only to deserts but also to active volcanoes, glacier, and award-winning vineyards? Can you imagine exploring a country where each landscape tells a different story, and each local culture reveals fascinating secrets? Get ready to discover a destination that goes far beyond expectations. Chile is a country where culture and history intertwine in a fascinating mosaic of influences. From the indigenous peoples who inhabited these lands long before the arrival of European colonizers to the events that shaped the modern nation, there is a wealth of culture revealed in every corner of the country. One of the most important indigenous cultures in Chile is that of the Mapuche, a people with a strong identity whose traditions are still preserved in the south of the country. Even today, you can find Mapuche communities living according to their ancestral customs, keeping alive a culture that has withstood both colonization and modernity. Visiting Chile means diving into the diversity of its history. In Santiago, the vibrant and cosmopolitan capital, you can walk through streets that have witnessed great historical events, from the country's independence to the darker moments of its military dictatorship. A stroll through the city center takes you to landmarks like the Palacio de la Moneda, the seat of government, and the Plaza de Armas, which has been the stage for important demonstrations. For those wishing to understand more about recent history, the Museum of Memory and Human Rights is an unmissable spot. It pays tribute to the victims of Augusto Pinochet's dictatorship and invites reflection on human rights. However, Chile's history is not confined to its capital. Cities like Valparaiso, one of the oldest and most charming ports in South America, tell stories of a glorious past. The steep and colorful streets of Valparaiso, with their old funiculars, reveal a bohemian and artistic city, where culture thrives at every corner. The colonial architecture, mixed with the casual style of graffiti murals, makes Valparaiso a unique destination, perfect for those who want to experience art and history simultaneously. Another essential cultural stop is Chiloé Island, an archipelago in southern Chile with an atmosphere entirely different from the rest of the country. The famous wooden churches of Chiloé, many of which are UNESCO World Heritage Sites, are a testament to the blend between the Catholic faith brought by the Spanish and the local indigenous traditions. Chilote culture is rich in myths and legends, like that of the Caluche, a ghost ship that appears in the island's dark waters. Visiting Chiloé feels like stepping into a fairy tale, where oral tradition and community customs are proudly preserved. And if you venture further south to Chilean Patagonia, you can explore the cultures of the indigenous peoples who inhabited this frozen land for millennia. The Selknam people, for example, were known for their spiritual ceremonies and impressive body paintings. Although this culture is almost extinct today, some regional museums keep their memory alive with exhibitions depicting their daily lives and rituals. Did you know that Chile has over 4,000 kilometers of coastline and that in each region the culture and customs vary drastically? In the north of the country, you'll find a strong Andean influence, with religious festivals like the Fiesta de la Tirana, where devotion to the Virgin del Carmen is celebrated with dances and traditional costumes. This festival attracts thousands of pilgrims and tourists every year, offering a unique opportunity to dive into Andean faith and traditions. In the large cities, such as Santiago and Valparaiso, the cultural scene is marked by a mix of modernity and tradition, where theaters, art galleries, and museums coexist with daily life. Chile also boasts a rich literary heritage. Two of its most illustrious sons, Pablo Neruda and Gabriela Mistral, were awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. Visiting Pablo Neruda's house museums, such as La Sebastiana in Valparaiso or Isla Negra on the Central Coast, offers a chance to learn more about the life of this poet whose words touched the world. Neruda's houses are true sanctuaries, filled with eccentric objects and offering stunning views of the sea, which inspired some of his most famous poems. For history and archaeology enthusiasts, Chile also holds treasures in the Atacama Desert. In the region of San Pedro de Atacama, you can visit the Pucara de Cuaita, an ancient pre-Columbian fortress dating back to the 12th century, as well as museums preserving artifacts from the ancient civilizations that inhabited this remote area. The Atacama is one of the oldest inhabited regions on the planet, and its historical significance is undeniable. In every region of Chile, local culture manifests itself in unique and surprising ways. From the colorful costumes of the dancers in the north to the wooden sculptures of the south, visitors have the chance to engage directly with local traditions. Have you ever imagined taking part in a traditional festival in a small Chilean village? Feeling part of this vibrant culture is an invitation to everyone who wants to connect with something deeper during their travels. Whatever region you choose to explore, Chile offers an unforgettable cultural immersion, where visitors not only observe but actively participate in the traditions and history that have shaped this fascinating country. Discovering Chile is more than visiting its tourist attractions, it is engaging with the soul of a people who deeply value their roots and proudly share their stories. Chile is a country that seems to have been sculpted by the gods. Its dramatic and contrasting landscapes enchant any visitor seeking outdoor experiences and contact with nature. From the driest deserts to the glacier of the far south, Chile offers a diversity of settings that are truly unique in the world. Here, nature is not just a backdrop but the main protagonist of any trip. Let's start in the north, where the Atacama Desert stretches out like a vast sea of sand, salt, and rocks. Atacama is known as the driest desert in the world, but its beauty goes far beyond that. Imagine walking through arid valleys, surrounded by red mountains and rock formations that look like something from another planet. One of the most incredible experiences you can have in Atacama is watching the sunrise at El Tacio geysers, where hot steam emerges from the earth in a unique natural spectacle. Can you imagine being in such a harsh and at the same time, such a fascinating place? Another must-see spot in Atacama is the Valle de la Luna, where lunar landscapes and giant dunes will make you feel as if you are walking on the surface of another planet. But the north of Chile is not just about the desert. There is also the Andean Altiplano, where you can find salt lakes and plains inhabited by pink flamingos. The Salar de Atacama, for example, is one of the largest salt flats in the world and offers a surreal landscape, with mountains in the background and deep blue lakes that reflect the clear sky and snow-capped peaks of the Andes. It's the kind of place where time seems to stand still, and you can contemplate the vastness and silence that only the desert provides. Traveling to the center of the country, the landscapes change drastically. Here, we find the contrast between the Andes Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. Santiago, the country's capital, is surrounded by mountains, and in a single day, you can ski on the slopes of the Valle Nevado ski resorts and, just a few hours later, relax on a beach along the central coast. Can you imagine living such an intense and varied day, where you can experience snow and sea in such a short time? The central region is also home to vineyards that stretch for miles, creating a bucolic landscape that invites you to take a leisurely stroll, taste wines, and enjoy the view of the mountains in the distance. On the central coast, one of the most charming cities is Valparaiso, with its steep hills and colorful houses piled on top of each other, offering stunning views of the ocean. Valparaiso's narrow streets and old funiculars lead visitors to discover secret viewpoints, where the sunset paints the sky orange and purple. Have you ever dreamt of watching the sun set over the Pacific, surrounded by the vibrant energy of a historic city? The journey continues southwards, where the landscapes become even more impressive. Chilean Patagonia is one of the last great wild territories on Earth. Here, the mountains are towering, the lakes are a nearly unreal turquoise blue, and the glaciers seem endless. One of the most famous destinations in Patagonia is Torres del Paine National Park, where the trails lead travelers to breathtaking landscapes. The granite towers that give the park its name are a spectacle in themselves, especially at dawn when the sun illuminates them with a golden light. Can you imagine waking up next to these iconic mountains, surrounded by untouched nature? Another highlight of Chilean Patagonia is the Grey Glacier, which can be explored either by boat or on foot. Imagine walking on a glacier, feeling the ice beneath your feet as you observe the deep blue of the ice crevasses. It's an experience that few places in the world can offer. And for those who prefer a more leisurely pace, Patagonia also offers countless crystal-clear lakes and virgin forests, where you can simply disconnect from the world and reconnect with nature. Further south still lies the mythical Tierra del Fuego, a land that has always fascinated explorers and adventurers. This archipelago, at the southernmost tip of the continent, is a place of desolate landscapes and strong winds, where mountains, forests, and fjords create a setting as remote as it is majestic. Can you imagine exploring the ends of the earth, where few dare to venture? The Strait of Magellan, which separates Tierra del Fuego from the mainland, is a place of historical importance, being the route that the Portuguese navigator Ferdinand Magellan used to pass from the Atlantic to the Pacific. In the south of Chile, there is also the Carretera Austral, a scenic highway that cuts through some of the most spectacular landscapes in the country. Along the Carretera Austral, you can discover small fishing villages, dense forests, rushing rivers, and lakes of stunning beauty. This is the perfect route for those seeking adventure and wanting to get away from more conventional tourist destinations. Have you ever thought of traveling along this isolated road, where each turn reveals a new breathtaking landscape? Finally, we cannot talk about Chile's landscapes without mentioning the mysterious Easter Island, located more than 3,500 kilometers off the Chilean coast. This remote island, famous for its giant stone statues called moais, offers a unique volcanic landscape and a sense of isolation that only adds to its allure. Exploring Easter Island is like traveling back in time, discovering the mysteries of an ancient civilization and its traditions. Whether in the arid lands of the north, the majestic mountains of the center, or the imposing glacier of the south, Chile offers some of the most spectacular and diverse landscapes on the planet. Can you imagine exploring such different landscapes in a single country? Chile is a destination that goes far beyond any expectation, offering experiences of deep connection with nature and the chance to marvel at the grandeur of the natural world. Traveling through Chile is like embarking on a journey through the most diverse and stunning natural landscapes that a single country can offer. From the arid desert in the north to the glacier and rugged mountains in the far south, Chile is a destination where nature and culture meet in fascinating ways. However, to make the most of this experience, it's essential to be prepared with a few practical tips and to discover lesser-known but equally fascinating places. Chile is a country that can be visited almost all year round, depending on the region you wish to explore. In the north, the Atacama Desert is one of the most popular destinations. To visit this desert region, it's ideal to travel between April and October, when temperatures are milder and more pleasant. Atacama is known for its salt flats, geysers, and lunar landscapes, offering a unique experience. Imagine walking at dawn through the El Tacio geysers, watching the steam rise from the earth as the sun rises over the mountains. It's an almost magical experience in one of the most inhospitable yet most beautiful places on the planet. Additionally, the sky over Atacama is world famous for its clarity, making it the perfect spot for stargazing. Many observatories offer nighttime tours, where you can gaze at the vastness of the Milky Way in one of the purest skies in the world. If you continue south towards the center of the country, you'll find Santiago, Chile's vibrant capital, strategically located between the Andes Mountains and the Pacific Ocean. Its proximity to the mountains means that in one day, you can ski on the slopes of Valle Nevado and, within a few hours, reach the coast to enjoy a beach. This duality is one of the most interesting features of central Chile. Moreover, the region is famous for its vineyards. If you're a wine lover, visiting the Colchagua and Casablanca valleys is an unmissable experience. Imagine walking through vineyards, tasting award-winning wines as the sun sets behind the distant mountains. There's no more relaxing and authentic experience for those who want to immerse themselves in Chile's wine culture. However, Chile goes far beyond its most well-known destinations. There are hidden gems throughout the country, perfect for those seeking a more authentic and less touristy experience. Pucón, for example, is a small town in the Lake District, famous for its breathtaking landscapes and the imposing Villaririca volcano. For the more adventurous, climbing Villaririca is an unforgettable experience. The feeling of walking on the snow of an active volcano, with stunning views from the top, is one of the highlights for those visiting southern Chile. Additionally, Pucón is surrounded by crystal-clear lakes and hot springs, ideal for relaxing after a day of adventure. Another lesser-known but incredibly special destination is the Elqui Valley. Located north of Santiago, the valley is famous for its clear skies, perfect for stargazing, and it's also the birthplace of Chilean pisco. Here, you can visit pisco distilleries and learn about the production process of this iconic drink, while enjoying the serene beauty of vineyards that stretch across rolling hills. The Elqui Valley is also a spiritual center, attracting visitors seeking meditation retreats and wellness practices. If you're passionate about untouched nature, Conguillo National Park, in the Araucania region, is a hidden gem offering volcanic landscapes and ancient Araucaria forests. This park is perfect for those who want to step away from the more popular tourist trails and dive into a setting that feels like it's straight out of a fairy tale. Imagine walking along trails surrounded by ancient trees, with views of the imposing Lima volcano in the background. It's an experience that connects you directly with Chile's wild essence. Further south, the Carretera Austral offers one of the most scenic and remote routes in the country. This road runs through the Aysén region, one of the least inhabited and wildest areas of Chile, filled with snow-covered mountains, rushing rivers, and breathtaking fjords. Along the way, you'll find picturesque villages and nearly untouched national parks, such as Queulat National Park, famous for its hanging glacier. The feeling of driving along this road, where every bend reveals a new stunning landscape, is an adventure that few tourists get the chance to experience. Even further south is the mysterious Easter Island, one of the most isolated destinations in the world. Although the island is known for its famous moai, the enormous stone statues that guard ancient mysteries, its natural beauty is equally impressive. The volcanic landscapes and white sand beaches make Easter Island a unique and magical place, where history and nature meet in perfect harmony. Exploring the island feels like traveling back in time and discovering an ancient civilization and its traditions. Traveling through Chile is an enriching experience, full of contrasts and surprises. Whether exploring the desert landscapes of Atacama, discovering the vineyards of the Central Valley, or venturing into the wilds of Patagonia, Chile offers something for every type of traveler. And the best part is that beyond the more touristy destinations, the country holds incredible secrets that only the most curious explorers manage to uncover. Have you thought about venturing to these lesser-known places and letting yourself be surprised by what Chile has to offer? Chilean cuisine is a vibrant reflection of the diverse landscapes and cultures that make up the country. From the arid desert in the north to the lush forests in the south, each region offers a unique gastronomy that combines local flavors with indigenous tradition and Spanish colonial influences. Tasting Chilean food is a sensory experience that transports the visitor to the roots of the country's culture, while offering a delicious adventure through dishes and ingredients that define Chile's identity. At the heart of Chilean cuisine are simple, yet incredibly flavorful ingredients. Pastel de choclo is a perfect example of how tradition can be transformed into a culinary masterpiece. This corn pie, made with minced meat, chicken, eggs, and olives, is a comforting dish that reflects the country's agricultural history. In villages and towns across Chile, it's common to find families gathering around a table to share a meal of pastel de choclo, keeping alive a tradition that transcends generations. Have you ever imagined tasting a pastel de choclo prepared with ancestral recipes? Another icon of Chilean cuisine is curanto, a traditional dish from the island of Chile. This is perhaps one of the most fascinating examples of how Chilean food is deeply connected to the environment. Curanto is prepared in a special way. Meats, seafood, and vegetables are slowly cooked in a hole in the ground, lined with hot stones and covered with leaves. The result is an explosion of flavors, with the shellfish and meats merging into a dish that captures the rustic essence of Chilote cuisine. Have you ever imagined participating in this gastronomic ceremony, where the preparation of curanto is a social and cultural event in itself? Seafood plays a crucial role in Chilean cuisine. With a coastline that stretches over 4,000 kilometers, Chile is blessed with an abundance of fresh fish and shellfish that are part of the daily diet. Chilean ceviche, made with fresh fish marinated in lime juice, onion, and coriander, is a refreshing starter that has become popular worldwide. Another must-try delicacy is paella marina, a seafood soup prepared with a variety of shellfish, fish, and local spices, perfect for warming up on the colder days in the country's coastal regions. Exploring local markets in Chile is an unmissable adventure for anyone wanting to dive headfirst into the country's cuisine. At the famous Mercado Central in Santiago, you'll find stalls filled with fresh fish, giant shellfish, and fruits that look like they've come straight out of a painting. There's nothing like walking through the aisles, smelling the aromas of freshly prepared food. Additionally, in the small markets and fairs in smaller cities, like in Valparaiso or Pucón, you can sample artisanal products and meet local farmers and fishermen up close. Chile is also known for its empanadas, a traditional snack filled with meat, cheese, shellfish, or even corn. Chilean empanadas are larger than those found in other Latin American countries, and each bite reveals the care with which the ingredients are prepared. A visit to Chile would not be complete without trying an empanada de pino, filled with minced meat, onions, eggs, and olives, encased in a crispy, golden dough. Now, for wine lovers, Chile is a paradise. The country's unique climatic conditions, with hot summers and cool nights, create the perfect environment for growing vineyards that produce some of the world's most awarded wines. Carmenere, a grape variety that nearly disappeared from the world, found its ideal soil in Chile, producing full-bodied and distinctive wines. A visit to the vineyards of the Colchagua Valley or the Casablanca Valley is an unmissable experience, where you can taste wines while enjoying the stunning landscapes of the Chilean valleys. Have you ever imagined strolling through the vineyards of Chile, with a glass of wine in hand, as the sun sets over the mountains in the background? Wine tourism in Chile is not just about tasting wines, but about experiencing the production process, from harvest to fermentation, and meeting passionate winemakers who are proud to share their knowledge. Another highlight of Chilean gastronomy is the enormous variety of fresh fruits and vegetables. Chile is one of the world's largest fruit exporters, and during a visit to the country, you can taste fruits like grapes, cherries, kiwis, and peaches straight from the source. In regions like the Elqui Valley, you'll find orchards that stretch as far as the eye can see, and the quality of the produce is unmatched. Additionally, local cuisine makes abundant use of native herbs and spices, which add layers of flavor to the simplest of dishes. For the more adventurous, there's also pisco, a grape-based spirit that forms the base of the famous pisco sour, a refreshing and slightly tangy drink served in almost every bar and restaurant in the country. Although the origin of pisco is disputed between Chile and Peru, Chilean pisco has unique characteristics that set it apart, and the drink is so popular that there are even tourist routes dedicated to its production process. Chilean gastronomy, however, goes beyond traditional dishes. In large cities like Santiago and Valparaiso, there is a flourishing contemporary culinary scene, where innovative chefs are reinventing local ingredients and creating dishes that combine tradition and modernity. Award-winning restaurants are emerging, offering visitors a unique perspective on Chilean cuisine, which respects its roots but is also open to new global influences. Have you ever imagined exploring a local market in Valparaiso, full of colors, aromas, and flavors? Chilean cuisine is not just about what's on the plate, but about the history, culture, and people who make each meal an unforgettable experience. Whether enjoying a simple dish in a market or dining in a sophisticated restaurant, Chilean food is a journey of discovery and pleasure. Chile is a country of extremes and fascinating curiosities that often surprise travelers in unexpected ways. Its unique geography, rich culture, and impressive natural phenomena make the country an unmissable destination, full of peculiarities that spark the curiosity of anyone. Learning some of these curiosities can enrich your trip even further, bringing a new layer of appreciation for everything this country has to offer. In northern Chile, the Atacama Desert is one of the most inhospitable and arid areas on the planet. What many don't know is that, despite being the driest desert in the world, the Atacama also hides a rare and spectacular phenomenon, the blooming desert. Every few years, when an exceptional amount of rain occurs, the desert transforms into a blanket of colorful flowers. This explosion of life in one of the driest places on Earth is a natural spectacle that attracts scientists, photographers, and nature lovers from all over the world. Did you know that despite its aridity, the Atacama can be covered in flowers in a true miracle of nature? Another place that fascinates both for its beauty and mystery is Easter Island, located more than 3,500 kilometers from the Chilean coast. Considered one of the most isolated inhabited islands in the world, Easter Island is famous for its mysterious moai, giant stone statues carved by the island's ancient inhabitants. There are over 900 moai scattered across the island, each with its own unique characteristics, and their purpose is still a topic of debate among historians and archaeologists. It is believed that these statues represented sacred ancestors and were erected to protect the island's villages. Moreover, the Rapa Nui culture itself, which flourished on the island, is full of myths and legends that continue to captivate visitors. Can you imagine standing before these enigmatic statues, contemplating the legacy of an ancient civilization and its still unresolved mysteries? In Chilean Patagonia, we find one of the most impressive curiosities in terms of fauna. Chile is home to the Andean condor, one of the largest flying birds in the world, with a wingspan that can reach 3 meters. The condor is a symbol of the majesty of the Andes and can be seen soaring over the mountain peaks, especially in the more remote regions of Patagonia. For travelers who venture into these wild territories, seeing a condor in flight is an unforgettable experience. These winged giants are considered sacred by many indigenous peoples and continue to fascinate naturalists and adventurers. Have you ever dreamed of seeing the majestic Andean condor flying freely over the skies of Patagonia up close? Another curiosity worth mentioning is related to Chile's sky. Due to its geography, altitude, and dry climate, Chile boasts some of the clearest and cleanest skies in the world. Especially in the northern part of the country, in the Atacama Desert, where atmospheric conditions are perfect for astronomical observation, there are many internationally renowned observatories. Chile has become one of the world's leading centers for astronomical research, and many of the world's largest telescopes are located here. This makes Chile one of the best destinations for those wishing to observe the stars. Many observatories offer night tours, allowing visitors to see the sky in unimaginable detail. Did you know that Chile is considered one of the best places in the world to observe the Milky Way and other wonders of the universe? Another interesting fact about Chile is its strong connection with wine production. Although Chile is widely known for its quality wines, one curiosity that many are unaware of is that the Carmenere grape, one of the most emblematic in the country, was almost extinct globally. Originally grown in France, Carmenere was considered lost for many years until it was rediscovered in Chile, where it found perfect growing conditions. Today, Carmenere wine is one of the most representative of Chilean viticulture, known for its full-bodied flavor and fruity notes. Can you imagine tasting a wine made from a grape that almost disappeared from the planet? Furthermore, Chile is also known for its legends and myths, especially in the south of the country, where folklore is rich and full of stories involving mystical creatures and supernatural phenomena. On the island of Chile, for example, local culture is deeply influenced by tales of beings like the Kalush, a ghost ship that sails the archipelago's waters at night, filled with spirits. It is said that those who spot the Kalush will be lucky or, in some versions of the legend, unlucky. The stories and myths of Chile are passed down from generation to generation and remain a vibrant part of the local culture. Have you ever heard of the Kalush, the ghost ship of Chile, and other fascinating legends from this land full of mysteries? Lastly, something few people know is that Chile is home to one of the few places in the world where it is possible to observe the natural phenomenon of fjords, similar to those found in Norway. In southern Chile, especially in the Aysén and Mogollón regions, the Chilean fjords offer breathtaking landscapes, with dramatic mountains plunging directly into crystal-clear waters. Navigating these fjords reveals hidden waterfalls, majestic glacier, and untouched nature that is rare to find in the world. Did you know that Chile has fjords as impressive as those in Scandinavia? These curiosities and unique phenomena make Chile not only beautiful but also deeply interesting and full of stories to tell. Each region, with its peculiarities, offers something different and surprising, creating a travel experience that is both visually and culturally rich. Exploring Chile is to discover its many layers of mystery, history, and beauty, always with something new to learn and experience. Have you ever thought about exploring a country so full of secrets and fascinating curiosities?